A fresh breeze hits me the second I open the door. This is really my favorite area of the school. I think. Yeah, I think. Then I see that I'm not the only one here. I can see a girl with bubblegum and pink hair in front of me. Her back is to me, but I don't have to see her face to know who it is. I'm sure Misha is the only person in the world with hair like that. I get the feeling that I've stumbled on her at a bad moment. She obviously wants to be alone, and I wonder if she hasn't noticed my presence. If so, I'll leave right now, but she has and turns to face me. CG!
Oh, Hee-chan, I thought someone was behind me, but I didn't think it was going to be you. This time you surprised me.
If she's referring to her habit of sneaking up behind me and asking me to guess who it is, I've never been surprised by that. And surprised too, but this is good. That's something I wanted to talk to you about anyway. Not that. What's going on between you and Shizune? She won't tell me, so I'm asking. Because you're easier to get an answer out of, since the same sign language that she gives me the leeway to lie to her gives a cushion against my questions, so that she can more easily brush them off. When she hesitates, I push her harder. Give me an honest answer, please.
It's complicated, Hee-chan. It's because something that happened a long time ago. I thought I could just forget about it, but it's really hard, so that, and graduation coming up made me want to spend more time with Hee-chan. Hee-chan's always busy now, so we've been fighting, but I'm tired of it now. Because I like Hee-chan.
Yeah, I know, man. More than I thought. To be honest, so do I. I mean, I thought the love triangle was gonna be maybe Misha gets feelings for Hisao as well, but no. It's all about Hee-chan here. Okay, get serious now. This is a serious scene.
No, I know you like her, Hee-chan. I mean that I like Hee-chan in the same way. I want her to be my girlfriend.
Misha closed her eyes like a condemned criminal confessing the last of their sins in front of the executioner. But it makes it harder for me to think of a response, and I know I have to give one. Well, points to this route for, being full of surprises for me. I thought it was going to be love triangle in a different way, but that throws a twist on it. I see. I never knew. Well, the fact that she said while you were, in one of those scenes about how it was her first time doing it with a man should have been the big hint that she's into other girls, probably.
I didn't really want to come to this school, Hee-chan, but it sounded interesting, and even if everyone hated me, at least it felt like they would leave me alone. I was learning sign language, but wasn't very good at it. Hee-chan was trying to get people to join the student council because it was only her and Lily. Then she came up to me and I couldn't understand her at all. But Hee-chan wouldn't use her pen and paper. She knew that I was taking sign language classes. I was exposed quickly, I didn't know any. That only made her try harder, and I hated Hee-chan and thought she was making fun of me. That wasn't the reason though. So I slowly fell in love with Hee-chan and I told her I loved her.
What? 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 She looks totally different if that's her. The lights. Was her hair a different color back then or what? And she let her hair just go out long? Why isn't she wearing her glasses? This whole CG just looks bizarre to me because of that.
It was in the student council room, when it was just the two of us. I had those fantasies of Hee-chan staying alone in the office, trying to put everything together all by herself. It seemed so lonely to me and so sad. I think I wanted it to be that way. That way I could be there for Hee-chan. Maybe Hee-chan would like me. Even though there was no reason for me to believe it. I did anyway. I wanted it to be true, so I was okay with letting myself believe it, even though I think I knew. That day was really, really beautiful too, Hee-chan. We were done with everything and I was looking out through the window. Even through the window, the light was so warm. I wanted to stay like that forever next to Hee-chan. But then I looked at Hee-chan and she had her back to the window and was still working on something. Looking at the rest of the world. The light was on her shoulders like when I would put a blanket on my shoulders as a little kid.
Misha stopped for a second as if trying to hold onto the image of Shizune in her mind.
Shi-chan looked... It was like Shi-chan looked in a way that made me want to be with her. It felt like it would be hard for that to happen. That was a really long time ago. My hair was different back then too. A little messy. I cut it because Shizune was always talking about it.
Ah, so that's why she looks totally different there. It doesn't explain why her hair is clearly not pink, though.
Anyway, I told her right there and then, I confessed. I was rejected. So I thought that was it, He-chan, but Shi-chan was always trying to find me, and I hated Shi-chan again for it. And when I asked her why she was doing it, it was because I was her friend.
I mean, sure, like, the only real difference is that it's like, you know, having feelings for someone of the same sex, but it's the same scenario, the friend zone. Her cheeks have a hint of red in them. I wonder how much experience she has had while been crying, that she can keep herself from doing it so well. If she didn't pause to wipe her eyes, I might never have noticed.
Having Shi-chan say that made me happy, but also sad, and even though she never meant to hurt me, it still hurts, even now. Shi-chan has a way of manipulating people, He-chan. Sometimes she wants to, and sometimes she doesn't really, but it happens anyway. And sometimes I'm not sure exactly which one it is, and I feel doubt. I just wish that Shi-chan liked me instead of you. It made me wonder if I was starting to hate you and Shi-chan. Just a little. I didn't like that.
So you're thinking maybe it would be better if I weren't here at all? She looks confused. The thought has never crossed her mind.
That's not it, He-chan. I've thought about it a lot these last few days, and I don't want to hate anyone. You or Shi-chan. It's so stupid that I ever felt like that, isn't it, He-chan? I don't want to think about that kind of stuff ever again. I'm missing people and being apart from them. I'm tired of it, and I don't want to think about it anymore. I already did, though, so I'm still really the worst kind of person. I wasn't thinking that it would be better if He-chan had never come to that school. I was thinking, wouldn't it be better if I just died? After all I've even done something really terrible now. Unforgivably terrible.
Misha pressed herself harder against the fence at her back, as if hoping to slip right through it. Don't be stupid. I'm surprised by the tone of my voice. Sorry. I realize that I hate it when I'm left feeling regretful over anything, and so it's impossible for me to not end up regretting something. Yesterday I did a stupid thing. That's probably part of the reason why I'm here right now, so I can figure out if I could maybe make it right somehow. Do you ever feel that way? You said you've done some terrible things. You can try fixing them.
He-chan, isn't that...
I know that she's thinking that I'm saying this more for me than for her. No, it's not. I just think that killing yourself is the biggest regret a person could end up with.
He-chan, you're so dramatic.
Well, she was serious, I'll never know. I don't try to find out, so she lets out a sigh and closes her eyes as if going to sleep. I feel that the dangerous mood I was picking up from her has passed. The door behind us opens, and a sound only barely able to be heard over the ambient breeze.
I've been looking everywhere for you two. Is this some secret meeting?
She walks over to us, leaning against the fence next to Misha, as if she needs to stop and catch her breath before pushing herself off it and continuing.
I'm bored sitting in the student council room every day. Hey now, without either of you ever coming by. Taking some time off is fine, but this is just too much.
Normally, Misha and I would be jerkily making excuses for ourselves at this point. This time, there's only silence. Shizune, always expecting resistance, is thrown off balance by the lack of it. A few seconds pass in uneasy silence, which Shizune breaks with an ear-shattering snap of her fingers, smiling as if to say Eureka!
Let's go do something together.
Like what?
Anything. We should go to the student council room first, and then figure it out from there.
That seems like a trick to get us to do work instead.
Very funny. It's not a trick, I promise. It'll be something fun.
Misha contrasts the genial smile on Shizune's face with a lonely expression of her own. No, I would make a joke, but I feel it would be in poor taste. If Misha is really jealous of me for stealing Shizune away from her, then I'd hardly make it worse if all three of us were together. Ow! A slap for that poor taste there. I imagine it'd be like rubbing salt in an open wound, so I get the idea to let them spend time together. I'm not so idealistic that I think a single afternoon to themselves will solve everything, but it might help. It seems like the better option than going with them, because my presence definitely wouldn't help at all. You two can go have fun then. I'm going to go to bed early.
Are you sure? It's barely past lunch.
I told you, I don't feel too good today. I think I'm coming down with something.
I thought that you said excuses like that won't work.
She has me there.
It's okay, but refusing someone's invitation is rude. I'll expect you to make it up to me.
Shizune turns around and smiles at Misha and starts signing something that I can't see. I assume it's along the lines of, it looks like it's just going to be the two of us. That's good. Are you fucking serious? Act 4, to my other self. What, is that like Shizune when she was a kid there? I was expecting it to end there and there, but no, it continues on to Act 4. Only a day later, the weekend has already arrived. I drop a heavy stack of books on the librarian's desk, not meaning to slam them, but they weigh so much that it happens anyway. What a sudden change of mood. Okay, I might as well say it. When they were just like, let's go do sort of fun. My freaking, just like, bad timing would be just like, why not have a threesome then? It's like, no, bad timing, that's wrong. Yuka bolts out of her chair and are forced to dislodge her glasses. She barely holds on to them.
Oh, hi.
Sorry I'm here to return all those books I was supposed to.
That's great, but I wish you had brought them back sooner. It wouldn't be a problem if the library had more copies of everything, but it doesn't. And they act like that's my fault.
Hey.
Other students, they can be, pretty pushy.
Sorry, it just kind of slipped my mind. It's been a pretty rough couple of days.
Oh, I suppose you don't want to talk about it.
Yuka meekly turns to the task of all the books I brought. Yuka's returned, treat them with extreme care and precision like she's a bomb disposal technician rather than a librarian. Yo, whatever happened to that book you ruined, Hisao? Did you have to pay for it? Over the past couple of days, I've been thinking about something Misha said. Of course, I'd thought about everything she said, but one thing in particular keeps coming back. She talked about how she didn't want to miss people or think about being apart from them anymore. And I recalled those words. They stumped me cold, like a sharp slap across the cheek. In just a few months, we'll be graduating. Misha and Shizune were nearly inseparable, but after graduation, they bite and never see each other again. I wonder if that thought is what started all of this. If Misha were to try and talk to Shizune about it, Shizune likely wouldn't think about it at all. It would sadden her, and for that reason, she would try and toss it away. For someone like Shizune, who is so quick to suppress her worries, it would be easy. Misha turned out to be more sensitive than she seemed. It would have crushed her, even more so because Shizune's reaction could come off as pretty cold. I don't know if that's how Shizune handled it, but it seems likely, and I can understand why she would act that way. I can also understand why Misha would be troubled by the thought of drifting away from someone who is such an important part of her. I never thought about graduation until that moment. Then I began to think things like, has it really only been less than a year? I started thinking of everyone I've met, not only Shizune and Misha, but everyone else. They were fond thoughts, then I thought of losing them. Suddenly I could understand Misha's anxieties. It could be nice to talk to someone about it. Actually, I kind of want to. Doesn't this happen in All Around as well? He ends up like kind of confiding a bit in Yuko, just like talking about his troubles and anxieties to a person that like Yuko, who's like always nervous and all that.
With whom?
I can sense an obvious tinge of oppression in her voice. With you.
Really? Are you sure? Why me?
Because you're an adult.
That's it. That's.
That reminds me, like, people my age, it's like, when you're, like, a kid or in your teens, you think, like, people in their 20s, it's like, oh yeah, they're mature and knowing and all that, but really, we freaking don't know shit. At least I don't. I'm in my freaking mid-20s, and it seems like other people around that age kind of probably relate in the same way. Just like, shit, man, I still feel like a damn teenager. Don't know why you're asking me. Wincing, she fidgets a little in her seat, trying to get comfortable in a pretty uncomfortable looking way. I guess this means she's okay with it. Is it hard being an adult?
Yes.
Yes, it's just a yes. Well, the amount of times I see people like on Facebook and they're in their 20s, like posting images, like sharing images, like with a caption saying, I don't want to adult today, or something like that. You're just like, yeah, clearly.
I don't think I'm that old though. It's surprising that students now, like Shizune and you wear stuff like perfumes or cologne. I never did, so I still don't use them. By the way, you're not wearing your grape cologne today.
So she actually thought that? Really? Yeah, it wasn't working out for me. You know, people are just like, why the freaking hell do you smell like grapes?
Oh, that's good. I thought the same thing. Sorry.
You look genuinely sorry, and I feel a pang of guilt. How the hell did she buy that, seriously? I smiled despite myself. A tiny lie like that couldn't come back to bite me in the butt. Misha trying to conceal how she felt in order to put on a happy face for Shizune for so long must have been crushing. You know, really, with that context, it really does, you know, put it all into context, isn't it? Throughout this whole freaking plot, Misha's always been, like, lively and bubbly, while all the while, that was going on in the background. And I didn't even pick up on that until that scene when, you know, they kind of, did their thing. Someone I knew brought up, what we're going, that's where we're going to be graduating. I realized that I've never thought about it before. I feel stupid that I could go so long and never think about these things. I've met a lot of great people and I've never thought about what it's going to be like to graduate and maybe never see them again.
There are still ways you could keep in touch.
Yeah, I guess. I feel childish. I know everyone's going through the same thing. Probably. I bet you hear this kind of problem a lot.
No, I've been working here that long. I haven't been working here that long. I worried about the same thing when I graduated from high school. I didn't go to school here, though. I also miss my friends, and I wish I had kept in touch with them better. I should have tried harder.
Your kiss really helped me feel better, and she clams up quickly when she sees it on my face. I don't want to look back and have those same regrets. When Miss Shizune even thinks about that kind of stuff, because she goes on sometimes about how she doesn't want to live with any regrets.
Wow, that sounds impossible to me.
You know, a lot of people say that, don't they? It's like, oh, live your life without regrets. Bullshit. You gotta freaking have regrets throughout your life, man. There's no way you can live a life without regrets unless you just, like, live, like, life in a kind of, maybe an ignorant-ish kind of way. It's like, you just completely ignore all these regrets. You just push them aside and not even acknowledge them. I don't know. I nod only halfway, wanting to agree.
Even so, I think that is kind of admirable too. Kind of brave, don't you think so?
Brave is a new way to put it. Yuko shakes her head insistently.
It's true though, and also kind of intimidating.
Geez, you shouldn't be intimidated by high schoolers.
I'll try.
She turns away to start folding her sticky notes over and over. Pretty idle behavior for a university student. More importantly, I wonder if I said the wrong thing to her. Being around Shizune for so long, I can't stop reading as much as I can into every moment of silence. If Yuko were the type of person who didn't get intimidated by high schoolers, it probably wouldn't be so easy to talk to her. It's all too easy to want to shed some negative quality of yours. When I think of everyone I know, it's those qualities that I like the best.
I don't think I really regret it. I thought as long as I could remember the good times, that was good enough. I don't know, sorry.
I noticed a couple of students starting to trickle into the library and decide that my time is up. No, that was helpful. I feel like two of my friends are fighting because one of them is taking the fact that we might not see each other again after we graduate really hard. The other's probably being stoic about it, which only makes it worse. I don't get how I'm supposed to handle this kind of situation. It doesn't seem like the kind of problem where I'll have to end up taking a side, but it could turn out that way, and then I have no idea what I'm gonna do.
You should tell them they shouldn't fight.
I know, fighting is bad, as she would say. It's not Shizune and Misha, by the way.
Okay, I wasn't really thinking that, though.
How embarrassing. Even though I knew it would be, I still feel my cheeks redden. But even so, I still said something so transparent and blatantly a lie. But it could be that sometimes that is the right way. Do you have any books about people who have to make hard decisions?
We have a lot of self-help books.
It's funny that I can find that surprising, because I wouldn't have only a few months ago. I meant not for. There aren't many, right?
Yes, not many, I mean.
Though I feel a bit apprehensive about it, I want to talk to Shizune. I don't understand why I feel nervous about it, and that's disgusts me a little.